Carolina, tierra de gigantes, vive orgullosa de sus héroes. De aquí emergió un espíritu destinado a trascender las fronteras del deporte. Roberto Clemente.
Playing right field, Roberto Clemente.
Su legado se extiende mucho más allá de las luces del estadio. Dejó una huella imborrable, no solo como atleta, sino también como defensor de los derechos civiles. Su vida sigue siendo una fuente perdurable de inspiración, un recordatorio de que la verdadera medida de una persona reside en su carácter y en la profundidad de su compasión.
In 2019, was wanting to do a documentary that would inspire people to do good. So I went and just started reading some biographies and was just blown away.
Caught by Clemente with a tremendous sliding catch.
3,000 career hits, 4-time National League batting champion, 12 consecutive Gold Glove awards, National League record for career assists in right field, 15-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, 2-time World Series champion, first Latino to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. No wonder the guy's an icon. But I was so deeply moved by how this celebrity on the baseball field would reach out to those who needed help or who felt lost and just showed them kindness. When Roberto Clemente came in 1955 to the Pirates, players of color, Latino players, players who didn't, English wasn't their first language, faced so much segregation and racism. And I think, he felt that very deeply. He was an outsider. His first 5 seasons with the Pirates, he really struggled. He had a really hard time finding his footing. Once he really found his footing, he just brought an energy, he brought a joy to the game and an exuberance to the game. By the 1971 season, Roberto Clemente was unquestionably the leader of the Pirates and just Pittsburgh's superstar in baseball. And by that time, there were a number of Latino players who he took under his wing and was gonna say, look, I went through this alone, but you're not gonna have to go through it alone. And he would teach them English. He would help them understand how to navigate Pittsburgh culture, white culture, American culture. And he was a leader for the whole team. In 1971, the Pirates win the World Series, and it is arguably one of the most exciting World Series in the history of the Fall Classic. Clemente is named the Series MVP, which is a huge honor for him. Interviewed on national television, and before he says anything, he says he wants to say something to his parents who are in Puerto Rico.
I would like to say something for my mother and father in Spanish. Que el día más grande de mi vida para los nenes, la bendición mía y que mis padres han hecho mi bendición en Puerto Rico.
And that was the first time anyone had ever addressed the world in Spanish on national television. I've spoken to people who were kids when they watched that game who had never heard Spanish spoken before on TV. They grew up, they were Puerto Rican, they were Hispanic, and they felt like Roberto was talking to them. They felt like suddenly there's a place for me in baseball. There's a place for me in the world. That moment was just so huge for the game of baseball, for families all across the country, in Puerto Rico, and the world. And that was what Clemente's whole life was about, was using this platform, this gift he had of baseball, and using it to lift others up. It was what he did off the field, realizing that life is so much more than just success and World Series rings, but that the substance of life is using your gifts for good and leaving the world a better place than you found it.
I am from the minority group. I represent the common people of America.
He died doing that very thing. And I think that's why we're still talking about him more than 50 years after he passed away, is that he embodied giving of oneself for the good of others.
Thank you.